Hello, dear students. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today, we are going to study a beautiful and thought provoking short story titled Atithi or The Guest, written by Rabindranath Tagore, one of the greatest writers of Indian literature and a Nobel Prize winner. This story is not just about the young boy named Tarapada, but about a free soul who refuses to be bound by society, relationships, comfort, or even love. Through this story, Tagore raises important questions about freedom, individuality, social expectations, and the true meaning of life. As we go through the story, we will understand Tarapada's character, the role of the people around him, and the deeper message Tagore wants to convey to us. So let's now move into the lesson and explore the story in detail. In this story, titled Atithi, we are introduced to Motilal Babu, a wealthy zamindar of Katalia. He is returning home by boat along with his wife Annapurna and his daughter Charushashi. During their journey, this beautiful family trip turns into an important turning point when they meet a young boy named Tarapada. The family's first meeting with Tarapada is our next point. When the boat stops near a riverside market, a young Brahmin boy named Tarapada, about 15 or 16 years old, approaches Motilal Babu. He politely requests a lift to Nandigram. Note down this point, okay? Motilal Babu is immediately impressed by Tarapada's youthful charm, bright eyes, and pleasant smile. Since Nandigram lies on his route, he agrees and invites Tarapada onto the boat. Next point is about Tarapada's journey with this family. Once the boat starts its journey, Tarapada proves himself helpful and cooperative. He assists the servant in cooking food. Annapurna, Motilal's wife, is deeply drawn to the boy. She treats him with motherly affection, feeds him, and asks about his background. From his brief replies, she learns that Tarapada had run away from home at a very young age, driven by his own free will. So, next point is about the flashback of Tarapada's childhood. At this point, the narrator moves into a flashback to explain Tarapada's past. Tarapada was a fourth son in his family. His father passed away when he was still a baby. Despite this loss, he was deeply loved by his mother, siblings, and neighbors. There was no emotional or social reason for him to leave home. Next is about Tarapada, the born wanderer. Yet, Tarapada's nature was different. He was born with a restless spirit. He ran away to join a traveling jatra troupe. Although he was brought back home lovingly, he could not stay for long. Tagore beautifully describes him as someone who would not accept ties, even ties of love. His destiny or stars had made him a wanderer. Next point. Tarapada wandered from one group to another, jatra troops, Panjali singers, and gymnastics troops. During these travels, he learned many skills such as singing and playing the flute. However, none of these groups could change his essential nature. He remained simple, detached, and free from habits, customs, and emotional bonds. Next point is about desire for unknown. Even these adventures could not satisfy Tarapada's thirst for the unknown. When he heard that the Zamindar of Nandigram had started an amateur jatra group, curiosity pulled him once again onto the road. This longing for new experiences ultimately led him to meet Motilal Babu. Now let's see the next point, life at Katalia. At Katalia, Tarapada becomes deeply involved in everything around him. He is always active, observant, and curious, yet emotionally detached. Motilal Babu and Annapurna grow extremely fond of him and begin to treat him like their own son. fulfilling their unspoken desire for a male child. Next point is about Charushashi's jealousy. This is very important. Okay. However, this growing affection created tension. Charushashi, their daughter, becomes jealous of Tarapada. She feels ignorant by her parents. Her jealousy slowly turns into hostility. Annapurna soon realizes this change and begins to restrain her open affection for Tarapada in her daughter's presence. Next is about Tarapada wins the village. Tarapada pays little attention to Nandigram as they pass it. After reaching Katalia, he briefly disappears, but within hours he wins the hearts of the entire village. Everyone admires him for his charm and the friendliness. Everyone except Charushashi. Next point, Charushashi's growing feelings towards him. Over time, Charushashi's dislike turns into attraction. She wants Tarapada's exclusive attention and becomes jealous of Sonamani, his childhood friend. Her jealousy reaches an extreme when she breaks Tarapada's bamboo flute, symbolizing her desire to possess him emotionally. Next point, his education and change. Tarapada develops an interest in English illustrated books. Seeing this, Motilal Babu appoints an English tutor for him. Charushashi insists on learning alongside him. For nearly 2 years, Tarapada stays in one place, something unusual for him. Knowledge and learning temporarily anchored his wandering spirit. So, this is the reason why he stayed there. Next topic is marriage proposal. Motilal Babu eventually begins searching for a groom for Charushashi. Annapurna suggests Tarapada. After inquiring about his family background and learning that he belongs to a respectable but poor high caste family, Motilal Babu sent a formal marriage proposal. The wedding date is fixed, but Tarapada is kept completely unaware about this marriage. Goal of freedom. Meanwhile, Tarapada hears about a chariot festival in a nearby village. One moonlit evening, he visits the river bank and sees boats filled with jatra troops, performers, and festive crowds. To him, the river appears alive, calling him back to freedom and adventure. Next point, Tarapada's disappearance. That very night, a violent storm breaks out with thunder, lightning, and heavy rain. The next morning, Tarapada's mother and brothers arrive for the wedding, but Tarapada had vanished. Before marriage, love and material comfort could bind him. He breaks free once again and disappears. Through Tarapada, Tagore presents the idea of absolute freedom. Tarapada represents the human soul that refuses to be confined by society, relationships, and material security. Atithi ultimately celebrates the spirit of freedom, making Tarapada a symbol of the eternal wanderer. This is just a small reminder. Please like this video, and if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, do subscribe. Your likes and support are a big motivation for me to continue making more videos. Now let us move on to the next slide. And it is about the characterization. And the first character that we are going to discuss is Tarapada. Tarapada is the protagonist of Rabindranath Tagore's story Atithi. He is a boy of about 15 years. From a very young age, he is driven by a strong desire to wander and explore the unknown. His restless spirit does not allow him to remain tied to any place or person. Tarapada represents freedom, wanderlust, and the human urge to live without restrictions. His physical appearance. Tagore gives a vivid description of Tarapada's physical appearance. He is fair skinned with large expressive eyes and a gentle smile. His long hair flows down his neck and he wears a sacred thread. marking his Brahmin identity. When he bathes in the river, he appears like a water god. His appearance reflects purity, calmness, and natural beauty. Next is about his family background. Tarapada comes from a poor but respectable Brahmin family. He is a fourth son, and his father dies when he was very young. Despite this, he was deeply loved by his mother, siblings, and neighbors. When he ran away from home, search parties were sent to bring him back. His mother and sisters wept with joy when he returned, but his repeated disappearances eventually forced the family to stop searching. Now let's move to the next point, Tarapada, Barry of ties. One of Tarapada's most striking traits is his fear of emotional bonds. He is afraid of being tied down even by love. Whenever affections grows around him, he quietly slips away. He leaves the Jatra troupe, the Panjali singers, and later even Motilal Babu's house. Annapurna's motherly love and Charushashi's affection failed to bind him. For Tarapada, freedom is more important than comfort, security, or relationships. Next point is about Tarapada thirst for knowledge. Although Tarapada rejects emotional ties, he has a deep thirst for knowledge. He becomes fascinated by English illustrated books and eagerly learns the language. Education temporarily anchors him in one place for nearly 2 years. However, even knowledge cannot permanently restrain his wandering spirit. Eventually, his desire for freedom overpowers everything else. Pure and innocent nature of Tarapada. Despite his exposure to the world, Tarapada remains pure and innocent. Motilal Babu feels that Tarapada must have been a sage in his previous life. Tagore compares him to a swan that passes through muddy water without being stained. This imagery highlights Tarapada's moral and spiritual purity. Next point is passion for nature. Tarapada is a true child of nature. He finds joy in rivers, fields, and open paths. He is often compared to a flowing river, always moving, never resting. Nature calls to him more strongly than human relationships. Though warm and friendly in nature, he remains emotionally detached within. Next character is Charushashi. Charushashi is the only daughter of Motilal Babu. She is about 9 years old and plays a significant role in the emotional conflict of the story. Her feelings towards Tarapada influence several important events. Now let's see more about Charushashi. Being the only child, Charushashi is overindulged by her parents. She is used to getting whatever she wants. As a result, she becomes willful, obstinate, and demanding. She throws tantrums over food, clothes, and even hairstyles. At the same time, she can be loving and affectionate towards her mother. Next is about Charushashi's jealous and envious. Charushashi cannot tolerate sharing her parents' affection with Tarapada. She becomes jealous of him and resents her mother's love for the boy. Her jealous grows stronger when she notices Tarapada's popularity and closeness to Sonamani. In a moment of intense jealousy, she even mashes Tarapada's bamboo flute. Next is about Charushashi longing for Tarapada. Gradually, Charushashi's jealousy turns into possessive love. She wants Tarapada's exclusive attention and insists on studying English with him. She manipulates situations to stay close to him and even rejects our marriage proposals, secretly hoping to marry Tarapada. Her love is intense, emotional, and possessive. Next character is Motilal Babu. Motilal Babu is a wealthy zamindar of Katalia. He is a kind, cultured, and respectable man. As a father, he deeply loves his own only daughter Charushashi. Now, as a father, what he does. Motilal Babu is a doting father who fulfills all his daughter's wishes. His excessive affection spoils Charushashi and makes her demanding. He even agrees to her studying English along with Tarapada despite initial hesitation. More about Motilal Babu. Motilal Babu is also practical and cautious. Before considering Tarapada as a groom, he inquires about his family background. He believes marriage will settle Tarapada's restless nature. Though aware of Tarapada's love for freedom, he secretly fixes the marriage, hoping this wedding will bind him. Next character is Annapurna. Annapurna is Motilal Babu's wife and Charushashi's mother. She represents motherly affection and emotional warmth in the story. More about Annapurna's caring and motherly nature. Annapurna showers Tarapada with unconditional motherly love. She feeds him, clothes him, and treats him like her own son. However, she feels hurt by his emotional indifference and longs to keep him with the family forever. And her perspective mother. Annapurna is emotionally intelligent and perspective. She quickly understands Charushashi's jealousy and controls her affection towards Tarapada in her daughter's presence. She is also the first to realize Charushashi's feelings for Tarapada and suggest marriage as a solution, believing it will secure Tarapada's place in their family. Now, let's discuss the themes of this chapter. First one is freedom versus social bondage. That is a central theme. Okay. Next is restlessness and the wandering spirit. Love as possession versus love as freedom is the next point. Next, individual will versus social expectations. Next is innocence and purity of the soul. Nature as a call to freedom is the next one. Next, generational conflict. Next is illusion of security, faith and destiny, guessed as a symbol. So these are the main themes of this chapter, and I have covered almost all, and I had listed the points and subpoints. Please go through these points. If it is for 5 mark and 10 mark, you have to score good marks. If you found this explanation helpful, please like this video, share it with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more English literature lessons. Your support motivates me to create more such videos. Thank you. Bye.